Talk show host, actress, and stand-up comic Aisha Tyler is not afraid to tackle taboo topics. She's here today to get real about the #1 health topic women don't like talking about, especially with their doctors. Please welcome my friend Aisha Tyler. Oh, I love it. So much energy with this woman.
Thank you, yeah.
Dances her way out there.
I did dance with a long one, man. I could have done the Macarena. Hi, how are you?
You have broken so many barriers. You know, it's the first African-American host of Talk Soup. Whose line is it anyway? You have great iconic shows that you get to take on. And now you're directing.
Yeah, now I'm directing. I just directed a film, Axis, that came out, a thriller that came out this April, and I'm directing on Criminal Minds as well, and getting ready to direct my second feature next year, so I love it.
Working hard is one thing, but you've transitioned from daytime to prime time to nighttime, late night, and you've actively engaged in really hot button topics. You just showed the example. You're arguing that we all need to be less apologetic, more unapologetic in our opinions.
Yeah, in our opinions. You know, I'm getting older, and I think, guys, I'm turning 70 this week. It's exciting. Black don't never crack. And I think as you get older, you do feel less and less worried about what other people think. But I think for our health, especially, women have to be bold. We have to speak our minds. We have to not be afraid to ask tough questions.
Yes.
And get the answers that you need, because you should never suffer in silence about anything.
So focus on my area. As a woman who's talked to a lot of other women, what is a health taboo that folks are not telling their doctors about?
Well, there are a lot of them, but I think specifically for women, we are still so anxious about talking about, you know, the stuff below the belt. We have a hard time talking about our vaginal health, our uterine health, and specifically about our periods. And it's funny because I have so many girlfriends who I'll talk about anything with, but they're still shy. They still call it like their auntie or their monthly visitor or the doc, you know what I mean? And I'm like, lady, we have the same thing. You're not a magician. You don't have something different than what I have. And I also think it's important because until you ask other women what their periods are like, you have no idea whether your period is normal or abnormal. Right, and actually 1 in 5 women have abnormal uterine bleeding, have unusually long or heavy periods that can be so bad that it keeps them home from work. It keeps them from being able to take care of their kids properly. And we need to take our health in our own hands, because other people depend on us as well. Yeah,
so Aisha started doing this. You took to the streets to get more women to open up about the one thing they don't like talking about.
So you guys have been friends forever, and you're both parents. Do you guys talk with each other about your periods?
We were just talking about periods 5 minutes ago.
I'm a big fan of you guys already. Big fan, big fan. Do you remember the last time you actually talked to like a friend of yours about it?
I'm actually very open with my friends. We usually share like, I'm PMSing right now. Yeah. Watch what you say to me. You know, don't say this because I might cry a little bit. Things like
I'm a little tender. Don't come at me sideways. You might get popped. Right? Announce yourself.
That's exactly the things that we say.
All right, so we had OBGYN, Dr. Evelyn Minaya, good friend, knows a lot about the stuff. You break it down for us well. What's normal? What's not normal?
Well, it is not normal for you to bleed, have clots, be anemic, exhausted, and exactly what you said. It has such a negative impact whether you're 14 or, 53. It does not matter. If you cannot go to school, you cannot be functional, you are staying home. What is that all about?
Right. And because people don't talk about it, they don't know if it's normal or not. And you need to talk about it. You need to find out what's going on so you can understand. Everybody has their period. Well, half of us have our period, you guys. No period. Yes, exactly.
No personal experience here. but I've suffered through with someone I love dearly.
Yeah.
So have you ever actually touched a uterus and seen some of the big fibroids and things that might cause bleeding?
Well, no, I have not, Dr. Oz. I'm just glad I don't have to touch poop today, you guys. That's all I care about.
We can arrange for that, too. Coming over, Evelyn. So Evelyn gets to touch uteruses all the time.
All the time.
So first we're going to show you a normal uterus from a premenopausal woman.
Okay.
Can Evelyn walk us through what we're looking at here?
Okay. Oh, my God.
All right, so this is the cervix, okay?
Okay.
So if you fold this together, that's the whole uterus. So this is our uterus. You see that this is the lining, and this is the thing right in the middle that we shed. The dark area that we shed each and every month.
Yeah, your own purple gloves.
Oh, thank
These
you.
are especially designed to match your eyes.
It matches my lipstick, y'all. I really picked well today.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
This is so interesting. So it's funny because I think when you're having your period, you think like, oh my God, it was like 18, cups of fluid.
Yes.
But it's actually not very much with a normal period because the lining isn't very big.
Well, but it depends, right? It depends. And remember, this lining usually gets thicker, okay, in the middle of our cycle, and that's what we shed, obviously.
Go ahead and feel this. I want you to appreciate it.
It's awesome.
Is it typically this firm when it's inside your body?
No.
Okay.
It's nice and gooey and
it's
soft.
been in the refrigerator.
And remember, it's also not big, and it's also folded like this.
Right.
But the muscle, just show it.
Is that an ovary or this is a fallopian tube?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a fallopian and an ovary.
That's both.
exciting.
It's both.
But but it is a thick muscle. I mean,
Yes.
I'm always impressed.
Well, and that's because it has to push a baby out.
Yes, it does.
You guys, our insides, ladies, are very tough, y'all. Don't let anybody say like you're being a girl. Ladies be pushing stuff out. Boys be sitting around.
But you know something? I think the most fascinating thing. Look at the size of this, okay? Right? You look at the size of this. This thing gets this big.
Amazing.
And then right after delivery, it goes from this down to your belly
That's a
button.
miracle.
4 weeks later,
Amazing.
down to
Wow.
But
amazing.
because we're talking about bleeding, obviously
Yes.
hormones can cause the problem, which
Yes.
would muck with this. But then there's also this issue. This is a fibroid.
Okay, so this is a uterine with the fibroid?
Yes.
So where is the fibroid?
These are all fibroids.
These are all fibroids.
Okay, these are all fibroids. You can touch them.
Okay.
They're kind of tough. Some of them over time will calcify.
But these are they're growths, but they're not cancerous.
Right, that's
But
correct.
describe that to everybody at home.
What it feels like, it's very,
Yes.
very hard, you guys. Like much harder than the uterine
For example,
tissue.
watch, listen.
And it's heavy.
Drop
It's
it.
heavy.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Yeah.
So, for people
this
who-
doesn't make that sound.
For people who don't know, all women can get fibroids, right?
Oh my God.
But women
it's
of
very
color,
common.
especially African American women, are 3 times more likely to have fibroids than women of other ethnic groups.
That's right.
And we also typically don't go to the doctor as much as other ethnic groups. And I think it's really important for women to know about their bodies.
Right.
So women of color, all women, make sure you're going to the doctor and asking tough questions.
So one of the reasons women don't go to the doctor is because they fear the treatment of bleeding is just to whack it out, is to cut it
just
out.
to suffer.
You work with Hologic, which is a
I
company
do.
that specializes in this.
So do I.
Explain, you do, perfect. So explain to us these new ideas of how we can actually preserve your uterus.
We have, this is cutting edge medicine. We have IUDs, we have birth control pills, and if you are not a candidate for any of those things, hysterectomy, we can do it laparoscopically, robotically, minimally invasive. It is amazing.
So the idea is to ask questions, don't be embarrassed, don't
Please.
apologize. You only have one body, you only have one life, and you need to fight to make it the best body and the best life you can
Listen
be.
to the woman.
Yes,
That's exactly
listen.
right.
It's your body.
All right, up next, we're tackling the awkward questions you wish you could ask your doctor, including, listen carefully, peegasms. You know what a peegasm is? Ha! That is right, a peegasm, when we come back.
How would a woman know that her periods are heavy?
I have no idea.
A half a cup, a cup.
Oh my God.
What would you think would be
I would
normal?
prefer not to discuss it in measures with which I also make pancakes.
A normal period is about a third of a cup.
That would not make
So-
very many pancakes.
So if you're making more than one pancake of bleeding, maybe you need to talk to your
But
doctor.
I think that's really important because I think women have no idea. No
right.
idea.
We're back with actress and director Aisha Tyler. We're tackling awkward health questions that you've always wanted to ask your doctor. We just talked about heavy periods.
Yes.
You must get asked a lot of questions about Down Under.
Well, I mean, I think along those lines, we're afraid to talk about our below the belt health. And I think women, most of us, men and women, but especially women, are afraid to talk about sexuality, afraid to ask questions about sexuality. You know, am I doing it right? Could it be better? What's it supposed to feel like? You know, and if we're not enjoying our sex life, we just figure that maybe sex lives aren't enjoyable. And they are, and they should be. And if you're not enjoying it, the first thing you need to do is get familiar with your own stuff. You can't teach somebody else how to change the gas in your car if you don't know how to put the gas in your car. You know what
Well
I'm saying?
stated. Well stated. All right, so I'm going to confide in you a question I've been getting asked about recently. It's a way, actually, of getting some pleasure, but not quite the
Okay.
way I ever imagined it. It's
Yes.
something called a peegasm.
So I had never heard about a peegasm until today, and it sounds insane and not in the good way. I don't get it.
So we're coming up together in the elevator. Last time I saw you, I was giving you an Emmy.
Yes.
This is how you win Emmys.
This is exactly it.
talking
about the peegasms.
Weird stuff like this that it matters. It's important because it means people are looking for things. So Dr. Andrew Kramer's here, urologist at the University of Maryland. Aisha, please.
Hi. Good to see you.
First of all, before we joke about this, is this a real thing, a peegasm?
Yes, it's a real thing. This has been around the internet a little bit. You're reading about it. And in women, the organs for urination, sexual function, they're neighbors.
They're very close to
the
each
nerves
other.
from the brain, it can be very similar in terms of the response.
What is it, by the way, a peegasm?
Well, the peegasm is a feeling that women get when they have to urinate. And so it started on Reddit where some women, and things don't always go viral. Things have to start at a certain point. And if it catches on and millions of people talk about it, there's some credibility behind it, or at least something to it. And women were saying that the feeling when they had to urinate or the bladder was filling, and then it really distended after really having to go, the feeling was similar to an orgasm. The shivers, the feeling, the overwhelming sense from the brain. So there was some overlap.
See, Aisha's much more of a touchy-feely person. She wants to see this
I want
in
to see a
action.
demonstration.
Sure. Come on over here. We built this just for you. Just for you.
Okay.
All right. So this is your bladder.
It's so big.
Yes, it's so big. It could be big.
This is how I get all those beers down on Saturday night.
And eventually you'll urinate. We'll come to that in a second. But right above the bladder is something called the brain. You all see it right there, the brain?
Huge.
Right. So normally your brain and your bladder are talking all the time, and they have a pretty good relationship. Hopefully that's true for all of you right now. But if you are holding in your pee, so let's say you've gone drinking away, and well, let's both. I've had a beer. I've had another beer.
So many beers.
I
drank all the boys under the table. Bye, boys.
Now, as you do this, you'll start to accumulate a little stretch in here.
Right.
And that stretch starts to send messages to the brain. And it gets fuller and fuller.
Like
the brain,
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, and the brain gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Heightened awareness that something is going to happen that will hopefully feel good.
Right? Like messages from your bladder?
Well, think about this. What else in life has to build to a climax, to a relaxation, to a moment where it can just let go?
A pizza. No, an orgasm.
A pizza, right.
Yes.
And just when your bladder's about to burst, you let it go and watch your brain, fireworks firing up in there, making pleasure happen. Ooh. These nerves hit the brain, impulses travel up there, causing a pleasure reaction. This is, my friends, a peegasm you just witnessed.
But can I just ask a question, Dr. Oz? We all know what it feels like to pee after you haven't peed for a long time, and it is a relief. But I just feel like if a peegasm feels the same to you as an orgasm, you should be having more orgasms so that you can figure out what an orgasm actually feels like.
I share your thoughts on this.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I also think, ladies, don't hold your pee in. Pee should be frequent, copious, and clear. Because if you're holding stuff in, you could also get like a urinary tract infection.
Dr. Tyler, I like it. Dr. Kramer, should people be trying this at home? Is Aisha correct, actually?
Generally, that's true. You don't want to hold your urine. Just as a general rule, it could cause urinary tract infections, kidney stones, kidney damage. But I think, and in general, it's not dangerous. But it wouldn't be something you would want to make a habit of.
The old thing they tell you is if you have to pee, you should always pee right after sex because that would keep you from having a UTI. And that includes sex with yourself. I mean, just keep everything moving, ladies. Keep
Is that true?
Keep it clean.
I think in general, the more the urine moves through, then less chance of urinary tract infections after sex. That's true. To empty your bladder, you can't get UTIs that way. That's true.
I love this. 2 doctors on set with me. Aisha, thank you very much.
It was
I love having you.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on new videos to live the good life.